Well, the government shutdown in Washington is now in its 5th day, and as it carries on, many are wondering its effect on everyday activities. This morning, we're going to look at travel, and with us is travel expert Mark Murphy. Mark, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks.
Well, let's start with there's 15,000 FAA employees off the job right now.
They're sitting on the sidelines right now.
What effect is this having?
Nothing in terms of day-to-day air travel at this point because they consider them non-essential. I think the big issue is 3,000 of those 15,000 are safety inspectors. They inspect maintenance facilities and they inspect aircraft after it's been repaired. So that's really, as time drags on, that's one of the big concerns. What's happening as far as the safety with flying?
So this does not affect. Talk about the TSA. Is this affecting nothing?
So you'll get through TSA, and one of my recommendations is get pre-check so that you can actually get expedited clearance at the airports when you do travel.
Okay, but in terms of officers or anybody checking passengers,
good.
You're fine.
You're fine. You're totally fine.
Okay, so let's talk about social media alerts. A lot of people rely on those when they're traveling. How is that being impacted?
Well, what's happening is the government's not tweeting as much. So the question is, are you going to know those updates? And my suggestion is sign up with the private sector, air carriers, and the other providers, and that way you'll get their direct tweets. And I'm not that concerned about social media and the government. I'm more concerned about the private sector, what the private sector's doing to make sure that you get from point A to point B, and you get there safely, because that's the big issue.
Have you noticed them taking some of the load off, or I guess picking up some of the slack when it comes to social media, or not really?
My opinion, I think for the most part, people tune into the product they're going to travel with. So if you're going on US Air or American Airlines, that's who you're signed up for their email alerts, you're signed up for their fare alerts, you get all of that information. If there's a delay at the airport, you get that phone call to your cell phone, or you get that text message. So I think that's how most people operate. American Airlines is certainly going to know if there's an issue well before the TSA or the FAA in terms of their product.
Okay, so the main concern, I guess, would be passports.
Yes, that is an issue. So what's happening is you're going to have an issue getting a passport. You're going to have an issue getting a visa. So the longer this goes on, the more of a backlog you're going to have. So even if this gets cleared up, you're going to have some delays down the road. So my suggestion, make sure you work with a passport or a visa expediter. There's one I just met with some folks that's called rushmypassport.com. So those types of products will, for $100, $200, $300, will get that done for you and will save you a ton of time, even when things are good. I really like those types of services for travelers.
So if you are in an emergency, there are routes that you can take?
Absolutely. You can get a passport turned around literally in a day.
All right, Mark Murphy, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it. We do invite you to stay with CBS 2 and CBSNewYork.com for continuing coverage of the government shutdown. Cindy?
All right, Andrea, thank you.